Hey everybody, what's up? Russell with Two Trail Hikers. Gonna jump into another how-to series today and talk to you about the FitBit Charge HR. I've had this Fitbit for about 3, almost 4 years now, and noticed that basically the battery, once it was charged, it would only stay charged for about maybe 3/4 of a day if I really didn't wear it or use it. So it got me looking, and Fitbit doesn't offer a replacement battery. They say throw it away and buy a new one. Well, I can't quite justify spending $100 and something, $140 or so on another Fitbit when there's nothing wrong with this one except for the battery. So I got online, did some research, and found a company called Canon Auto Electronics. I actually found them on Amazon and did some research and got a battery from them that actually comes with the tool, and they have a YouTube video on how to replace the battery from their company. I'll put a link to it up here. The tool is probably the hardest thing to come by because the screws are so small in the back of the Fitbit. I kept looking at them, and I've got some micro screwdrivers and stuff as far as that goes, but I didn't have anything nowhere near this small. And they put tape on the end of it so it wouldn't poke through the plastic bag. So what we'll do is take the tip off of that, and you can see the tip. It's like a T0 or T1, maybe a T2. I'm not sure. It doesn't actually say on here. But what we'll do is we'll just dive right in and start taking it apart and see what we can do about replacing the battery. Here's the battery, which is supposed to fit inside of the Charge HR somewhere. We'll get the screws out of it here. And, you know, a lot of the concept of it is these screws are going to be similar to what's in, I don't know, cell phone. I've had an iPhone apart before, and they're really easy to strip. So, you know, make sure they're cleaned out. Try not to lose them like I'm about to do. And let's see. Alright, so there's 4 screws in the back of it, and it looks like I've got all 4 of them out now. That one's out. And that one's out. So we got all 4 of our screws out. Now we're supposed to be able to take the assembly out. And y'all are learning with me as I go here. There we go. It separates on the side right here. There's the button. And there we go. I guess since I've had it for a while, it's kind of stuck together. Go down the edges, and there we go. Alright. So here is the internal workings of our Fitbit, and the battery is connected down below. So what we'll end up having to do is separate the circuit board which is proven to be easier said than done. Let's see. Here it comes. And as I throw it across the table and break it, let's see. Here we go. Well, oh, okay. Upon further inspection, there's two little screws in here. Take that one loose. Take that one loose. And there they are. They look to be the same size as the ones that holds the case together. Ah, there we go. So it looks like it's going to come apart now. And there's a ribbon cable in here. We have to be super careful not to break it. Now, we've got it out. So now the battery, if I remember reading correctly, is kind of stuck to the circuit board with just a small amount of glue. And there we go. Now, right now, my Fitbit's dead. So it really shouldn't matter as far as taking the battery loose and things of that nature. But if there's a little bit of power left in the battery, then what we want to do is go in here and cut the negative loose. Just like that. And then cut the positive. And there's our battery. And in all honesty, if you look at this battery, it's swelled up back here, which leads me to believe that that is most likely my problem. Now the replacement battery looks a little bit smaller, but it's not puffed up and swollen and the sides pushing out. Alright, now comes the worst part of this entire project, and that's going to be soldering this back on. So what we're going to do is take a piece of painter's tape and we're going to tape this down so it can't move. Okay. Now, take our soldering tool and just touch it on here to clean these pieces of wire off that were left over. I'm trying not to put a lot of pressure on it. I'm really just trying to let the heat from the solder tool do the work. It is tight. Let's see. Excuse me. There we go. Almost. There we go. There's one. And there's two. Alright, so we've got our positive and our negative leads loose, and we remember the negative was on the outside, positive was on the inside. So now we've got our new battery, which we're going to tin the tip of it just ever so slightly with some solder. There we go. Now this is when we tape this down so I can hold this and solder it in place. I said we taped it down. Still want to move around. Go. Alright, there's our negative. Let's do another piece of tape right here. There we go. Now we just need to get our positive and what's probably going to happen is it's probably going to come on because this battery probably has some residual charge in it. Okay, let's see, clean that off good. Alright, kill the solder station there, take our tape off. Alright. Tuck the battery back in here. There we go. It is now powered up. Now all we have to do is basically put it back together. And for people like me with fat fingers, that may prove more difficult than taking it apart and fixing it. Alright. One display screw in. Trow. There we go. There's that one. Now, let's see if we can put this back together, and we see our green light, so we know it's working, or at least it's trying to. And there's little clips on the side here that hold this in. It looks like we need to put the button side in first. Well, okay, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here, there's a little tab sticking out in there. And that tab has to go inside of the waterproofing piece right here. So that was what was holding me off from getting mine to go together. So basically, I have to kind of pry that out a little in order to get it to go together. And don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not going to say this is the easiest job. It's definitely tedious. But, you know, you're learning as I'm learning, but the key thing of it being is if this will work, then I can fix my Fitbit and not have to buy another one. It looks like what I just done is bent the metal tab that holds it in. Alright, let's try this again. One more time. That button is just wanting to give me a world of trouble here. Well, I guess what we'll do is we'll cut at this point, and I'm going to try to figure out why I can't get it to go back together, rather than force you to sit here and watch me struggle. Alright, so I'm back, finally. So we got the Fitbit put back together. The little metal tabs on the sides is what gave me the most trouble, but finally, after figuring out that I had to invert it, hold the button out, slide it up in there, and then push the tabs down with a screwdriver, I finally got them to lock into place, and then put the 4 screws back in. But as you can see now, the green lights are on and it's displaying the time. I just synced it with my phone, so it's synced up, shows the correct date, correct time, and it's doing a continuous sync with my cell phone now. So I'm gonna say we've got it fixed. We'll stick it on charge, let the battery charge up, and see how long it lasts. And what I'll do is, once I get an update on battery life now, I'll drop that in the description down below to give you an update. But aside from that, we put a battery in a Fitbit. Bought the battery off Amazon through Tannen Automotive Electronics. I'll post a link in the description below. I think the battery was like $9, maybe $10 give or take. $130–$40 Fitbit, $10 battery. Took a little bit of time, it was a little tedious, but you know, I think it was well worth the effort to get it apart, put it back together, install a new battery. If it works, it saves me, you know, if a Fitbit's $130, it saves me $120. So appreciate you tuning in, guys. Definitely hit the subscribe button. We'll be coming to you with more videos. Give us a thumbs up, give us a comment down below if you have questions. We'll do our best to answer them, and always remember that these videos are done to help you, and we take no responsibility if you tear your stuff up. Thanks.